And we are live. Hello and welcome to the stream. I'll just be going through a bit of my passes still, and I hope you enjoy. Let's see now. Ooh, while I was offline, I got a broken magic essence, and I figured, well, I might as well stream, because I don't know what I'll be doing, what encounters I'll face. Ooh, that's maybe too many. I guess that's fine. Well, it's gonna be quite relaxing. I have nothing planned. Just a few passes of Rundle and a bit of Shadows. Tama, yeah. Hello Nudu, welcome to the stream. Nice to see you. I'm just doing a bit of Rundle and Shadow Wizard. I hope you enjoy. Oh, empty room. That's unique. Pretty rare. What is this game about? This game's called Mabinogi. It's living your fantasy life, or that's what the promotion is about. It's just a typical MMORPG. It's been here for about 20 years now. It came out in 2004. There's archery. Well, there's a lot of stuff. But yeah, it's your typical medieval fantasy MMO. We have these people called Milesians, which are the humans in this world that can use extraordinary powers, and they're like the heroes Fighting with monsters? Yeah, pretty much. These monsters are called formers, and these formers are basically the residents of this dark world, or a dark universe. And this dungeon I'm running is basically an in-between world between the former world and the human world. So, lore-wise, it's kind of interesting, but typically it's just a monster fighting RPG with a lot of lore behind it all. It's pretty interesting, but it can be quite, it's quite generic for an MMO. They have these quest lines called generation quests, where they start introducing to you the lore behind this game. It can get very, very complicated, but it's quite interesting if you sat down and had a thorough read through of the entire thing. There are about 25 generations right now. They're basically light novels packed into this game with a lot of characters behind them. I would say it's a pretty fun playthrough. I mean, it is an online game though. And it's free. Can we have last boss? Ooh. As of now, probably not. There are bosses though, because there are quite a few dungeons you can go through, and each of these dungeons have their own little mechanics and a boss. You could say this Cyclops here is the boss room of this dungeon. So there are last bosses, but there are quite a few of them. I wouldn't say there's like a big last boss. But it's an interesting thought. I never thought about that. This game doesn't really have a lot of the RPG style stuff. I mean, it's because it's an MMO. You can't really have an ending to the game. You can only have an ending to a story, but then there'll be another story, maybe in a few months. And so the story just keeps on going. Right now we are entering Generation 26, which is basically the next story. Maybe next year it'll be the Generation 27. The story keeps going. So having a last boss, maybe for each generation, there will be a boss for each generation, surely. But I don't think there is a last of them. game have a story? Oh, surely. It does have a story. Let me open my trusty book here. This is what you call a storyline. So there are a lot of stories to pick from, and they go by chapters. Here is Generation 1, 2, and 3, which is part of the first book of the story, called Advent of the Goddess. This is by far my favorite story, because it's a tale of 3 warriors. Tarlac, Mari, and... oh wait, this is Tarlac. Tarlac's the mage, Mari's the archer, and Ryri's the warrior. The story is pretty interesting because it talks about 3 of them as very young warriors and adventurers, and it starts to get deeper and deeper, pretty dark too, as you go down the lore. Eventually you reach Iria, which is chapter 2, and this talks about the land of Iria. Iria is a whole new continent. We can check the map here. Here we have Ulad, which is basically where I am right now. Iria is this map right here, and it's a pretty big map. There are a lot of places to explore. And so yeah, there is a lot of story to go through. I can talk about the chapters following these, but I'm pretty sure you'll have more of a time exploring it yourself if you are ever interested. But yeah, I'd say not a lot of people who play the game for a long time are lore invested, but if you do end up investing in lore, it's pretty fun. I've heard good things about it. I'm not a professional in the lore myself, but I can say for sure it brings a lot of memories, because this story has been going on for 20 years now, and it's still ongoing too. There will be more stories to come. And I can see the appeal to it, because these stories do get better over time. Very complicated, a lot of loopholes, but still pretty good. So I'm pretty excited for the next chapter. The saga. Never really think about it that much, but I guess a lot of this game comes pretty natural to me. Never really sat down and thought about how there was a lore behind it, and looking at it from another perspective, or seeing this game as a new player. It really does make me wonder, how do I introduce this game to someone who has never played it before? But I have to say, there are a lot of things to talk about Mabinogi. Doesn't sound very easy for me. But yeah, the story involves the Militian, which is basically the player. So players in this game are called Militians. And since it's an MMORPG, the RPG revolves around the player itself. So a lot of the story involves you, pretty much. So instead of a self-insert, I guess it's more of a, you are literally a part of it. But yeah, most of it talks about backgrounds for NPCs that already exist in the game. So on one hand, each of the stories are to teach you new game mechanics in a very interesting way and introduce new content to play. So, never have I thought of prioritizing the lore itself. You playing another game? As of now, I'm not playing any other game. I'm just gonna be playing Mabinogi. I forgot the mage. Okay. Guess I'll be doing Shadow Wizard now. Ooh. Oh, it's Japanese. I never knew the coffee I bought was Japanese. Any tips on newer returning player? Definitely. I have one very big tip. You have to make sure you take this tip to heart. You must die with it. Whatever you do, don't follow the meta. Pick a class you really enjoy, or I don't know. If you don't like picking a class, you don't need to. But make sure you find something you really enjoy in this game and stick to it. If people tell you it's garbage, don't listen to them, because it's not going to stay garbage, and it's not even garbage anymore. The game has changed so much, and the developers are fully aware of how bad their game was, and they're fixing a lot of issues. If you enjoy this game for something really niche, stick to it. Because eventually that niche thing is going to be so fucking fun. You'll be glad you never followed the meta. Yeah. That's as good as an advice as I can give. I've heard so many stories about people thinking that they're like playing this class and nobody else plays the class, and they think that maybe they could be another class, and then they end up changing their class. Then they completely hate the game and they quit because it's boring. So yeah. That's my tip. That's my only tip, really. I think that's one of my biggest regrets. I loved archery so much, but I had to be a mage, because mages are pretty strong. I kinda regret doing that. And I figured I could have just stayed archer through and through, and I would have been fine. I didn't need to go out of my way to be something else. I hope that helps. It's a personal tip. I'm running around as gunslinger. That's great. There are a lot of gunslingers. Yeah, I can assure you, gunslingers are pretty strong. Well, the thing about the game is it has a lot of requirements for gear. You need to get really specific reforges and such. And I would say the hardest part about getting the right gear is the fact that if you don't play the game, you don't know what to get. So some people might know exactly what you need, but at the same time, everyone's playstyle is really different. I feel like a lot of players would suffer with the pressure of having to get the best in slot item, or having the best gear, and I'm gonna be honest, with that mentality, yeah, it's gonna make this game really, really tiring. Cause the game doesn't change, even if you start out as like a new player and you end up playing a lot and you go into endgame, the gameplay doesn't change at all. So if you don't enjoy the game right from the beginning, you won't enjoy the game when you do get everything. Anyway, furniture, Tara decor for commerce. The only thing I know is take free. That's amazing. I mean, I have a friend that loves commerce. Yeah, I can understand that feeling. I've done it before. It's really fun when you get into the zone for that. Ooh. Why did I do that? That's a habit. I don't normally use Battlefield Overture, but okay. But yeah, commerce, really fun. Highly recommend it. For people who enjoy commerce, of course. For me, I like Shadow Wizard. It's been 8 years. I think it's been 8 years. I've been doing Shadow Wizard for 8 years now. Where to get the new gear? Dungeons would give gear, but best thing I got is Planet Root. Yeah. Gear is more of specific dungeons. You don't exactly get gear, you need to craft them, but you do get the resources to get to craft the gear from dungeons. Mainly Tech Duin and Glenburna, two of which are the highest difficulty dungeons. Which means your best bet to getting gear in this game is buying it off players. So for a gunner set, it only comes down to reforges really. So you can have a look at all the gunner reforges. It's mainly on the wiki, but I'm going to be honest, if you're doing commerce, this would probably be the boring aspect of the game. Or if you're enjoying commerce more, which means I would say just there's no need. If there's no need to get new gear, then just take your time playing the game the way you want to play it. Yeah. Because there is no right way to play this game. It's about the exploration. If you're exploring the game in a fun way, that's basically the best way you can play the game. There is a lot of things in this game, and there are a lot of people that preach with elitist mindset about how you should go about doing everything. I mean, it's pretty typical. Not that they mean things in a bad way, but more it's their experience of the way they play Mabinogi. So it's not in a harmful way, but yeah, there are some combat fanatics, I would say, and there are some commerce fanatics. There are life skill fanatics too. Planet quests. Planet quests is like, what's it called? The veggie, the veggies to your meal. You gotta take the veggies. If you don't take the veggies, you'll be fine, but you'll feel a lot worse off over time. She gave back. Yeah, it did pay off. But I'm gonna be honest, I did Planet Quest 3 times already, and out of the 3, the one I enjoyed most was when I sat down and read the story. There was a time that I did the Planet Quest and I was like, maybe I should read the story, and yes, it pays off so well. Getting a reward from the Planet Quest is good and all, but enjoying the story is a whole new level of good. Not that I paid attention to a lot of it, mind you. I pretty much only paid attention to, I think, the scenes when she's about to disappear, pretty much. Spoiler. But yeah. It's a really fun read. Though, I can't say for sure because I've been through all 3 versions of Planet. There were pretty much 3 versions of Planet, and people had to redo them 3 times. Well, maybe 2. But I'm pretty sure it was 3. Yeah. It's a bit late to realize this, but the game's pretty hard to say there's a good way to play it. There's just so many ways to play Mappy. Yeah, found her again. Oh, you're still going through Planet. Well, yeah, Planet is fun and great. It is the tutorial after all. It's pretty much like a recommendation that you complete her story quest before anything else. But I would say don't get your hopes up. If you don't enjoy Planet, you probably won't enjoy a lot of Mappy overall. Took me to see the fireworks and then ghosted me. Yeah, that's the part. That's the part I was talking about. Okay. The ghosting thing, that was a pretty sweet story. I have 2 more passes left, which means I'm gonna have to head back to Rundle again. Not that I mind. I mean, yeah, not that I mind. Not a lot of update info in this game. Up-to-date info. Oh yes, definitely. There was a time frame where a lot of players just gave up updating the wiki. Because the wiki is run by players, and the biggest phase was the giant update phase, where a lot of things about Mabi was about giants. And they made giants so strong that it was basically Mabinogi racism, simply put. And that's when a lot of people got pretty mad and upset with the game, so they quit. We lost a lot of very, very good players because of that. And so now it's in this limbo phase where people just don't really bother. Yeah. Reddit ended up being a better source for information because it's run by the players who want to find out the future updates and stuff. And so the wiki for Happy Race, the wiki covers a lot of the old Mabinogi stuff because that's what people love doing, updating the wiki back in the day. But recently it's all about the future updates. So there'll be leaks of Korean updates. I mean, Korean-sided patches and stuff that we'll have, which it's a foresight to what we'll have 2 months from now. So you'll be seeing a lot of planning ahead that a lot of the endgame players like to do, based on what the new meta is all about. Wiki does seem abandoned. Well, it does seem abandoned, but it definitely does get updated, just pretty slow. Like I said, it's run by players, and you'll see that there is a connection with the Mabinogi official Discord and the wiki information. People are pretty active there. But yeah, Mabi being one of those niche games that requires a whole wiki page just to understand how to play the game. It's kind of funny, but yeah. So come forward, I can use my stuff. Oh, well, there are certain weapons that you can use as your spirit weapon, which the game doesn't really tell you, but it should tell you now. So if you scroll down right at the bottom. Oh wait, was it at the bottom? Let me find it. It should. Oh wait, did they remove it? It should tell you what kind of weapon it is. And Sun Prophet is one of the weapons that are pretty much like accessory items. It's not an actual combat weapon. So if you get a combat weapon like the Celtic guns, which is one of the earlier weapons. There are earlier weapons like a Dora Ace. those can be given as spirit weapon, but Sun Prophet is a gacha item, so it's more of an accessory item, fashion item, if you will, rather than an actual combat-oriented weapon. So it looks good, it has nice stats, but it can't really be upgraded the same way most guns can be upgraded. We have this feature called the special upgrade, which I think the Sun Prophet is unable to do. I might be wrong. And so the special upgrade allows additional stats. Let me pull my guns out. Turn using Dora SE. Yeah, the Dora SE is in fact a combat weapon. So for for combat weapons, you can have the special upgrade, which you can see all the way down there, with the critical damage increase, and so on and so forth. So it's pretty understandable why the Sun Prophet cult doesn't allow you. It's not allowed to be a spirit weapon. There are some of my weapons here. Life skill items. You cannot turn them into spirit weapons, that's for sure. And I remember I had a chef's knife, which I could not use as a spirit weapon either. But yeah, a lot of these niche items that they used to be. Maybe in a very progressive game, it changes a lot. So, and there are a lot of people behind the changes. Basically, they change managerial stuff a lot. So, there'll be new implementations that really do not accommodate to older items in the game. Sun Prophet Cult is one of those things. Basically, like if you made a sandwich and someone else had to complete your sandwich for you, they probably don't know what you started the sandwich with, or what you had in mind for the sandwich to look like, and so it's gonna look it's gonna look pretty different. Yeah. So there's a lot of confusing things about Mabi like that, but I think it's a charm. It's pretty nice to see a lot of people working together on a single project. The chaos is funny. It's really funny, I'm not gonna lie. It's like, what's a good example? Do I still have my weapons? No, I don't have my weapons. I like to keep my old weapons. I had dirks, focadas, and all of these redundant weapons that typically, basically nobody uses anymore. But they used to be pretty useful. They used to be like something everyone uses. There's some... Oh! My beam swords. If I can find them. Yeah, I have them right here. These are my rainbow beam swords, which they used to be my favorite weapons. My go-to weapons, in fact. There's also the beholder swords. But these I pick up as like a relic. They weren't mine. I never used them. But yeah. And then you have the masterpiece bow. Nobody uses the masterpiece bow anymore. We have wooden blades. I remember I used wooden blades a lot in the past. But yeah, there's so many relics in this game. Can't forget the scythe. Scythes in this game. It's pretty much just an accessory item. But it is such a chill vibe and profitable. Yeah, I love the chill vibe about commercing, because it's something you can do as like a a half AFK kind of pastime, especially when you're riding the boat. Is the Merlin Shylian the same? Some tropical. Yes, absolutely. So the Merlin Shylian knuckles are pretty much not useful anymore, because the concept of having magic and fighter skills combined together is that of the past. So these days you either specialize in combat, fighter combat, which I have right here, the knuckles, or magic. So I don't use my Shylea Knuckles anymore. I think I put it on an alt, so it's not with me. Those warding candies are like crack. Yeah. The warding candies are great. Because, yeah. I used to do that, and I would chart a automatic course with the warding candy, and I would just sit back and chill for the entirety of the journey. It's pretty fun. Okay, let me just shoot that. But yeah, who was it? Button. Mabe is a best weapon. Essentially Dora. The Dora SE. I would say a lot of this, what I'm understanding. They're definitely pretty much toys, yeah. I do have Dora SEs, so be that as it may, they may be toys, but they're pretty good toys. Where's my Dora SE? My Dora SE's right here. See, I cherish my weapons a lot. It's really good. But yeah, ooh, I must have more weapons here. You have the fan, the butterfly fan. This is also an accessory item. There's so many accessory weapons, and you'll see a lot of that. But yeah, a lot of the game concepts, they require you to interact with players to know more about it, and I think that's a good thing. It makes up for the lack of communication in most MMORPGs, and I like the fact that Mappy keeps, whether intentionally or unintentionally, keeps a lot of information away from players, resulting in people having to talk to other people just to find out what works and what doesn't. It's a nice little charm to the game. Add Merlins and Profit as your main weapon. Well, if you have them as your main weapon, you're basically playing the way people used to play. Not that it's a bad thing, because they can be pretty strong. Like, if I equip them right now, they're pretty strong. But, 6 spirits. Not being able to ego weapon. And that can't be spirit. Distracted, sure. And I was gonna say, I think your main weapon would be your stats. So if you're training your skills, it doesn't matter what weapon you hold, they will be strong regardless. So the stats are pretty much the most important focus, especially if you're doing casual content like commerce and stuff. You'll see a lot of enemies just die instantly, which is why the planet weapons are pretty much all you need, all you'll ever need really, if you're not into the scope of combat. Which reminds me, if you're using your Mana Knuckles and your Sun Prophet Colt, I'm pretty sure your planet weapons are dozen times stronger than anything you have right now. Because they made it that way. The planet weapons can in fact carry you through a lot of the game, which makes it so the game can be kind of boring because you're pretty much given really strong weapons right off the bat, and you won't ever need any other weapon for the entirety of your journey until endgame, which is funny, but at the same time kind of annoying. Because I don't think anyone wants to use planet weapons. Or some people might, yeah. But most people won't. It just goes to show how strong those weapons are. But the charm to it, or the good thing about giving us such strong weapons, is it allows players to explore what class they want to play. And I think that's their main goal. So you're gonna end up throwing away your garbage weapons anyway and get the end game, the best in slot weapon eventually. So why not just give the players something they can use to explore the class? And I think by that virtue they created the planet weapons. And so if you're stuck on what weapons to use, you could try out the planet weapons and see for yourself which class you want. And then you can start inferring other players about what kind of weapon you should be getting when you're more solid on what idea of what class you actually want to play. I have a friend who loves doing commerce, and he's not really picky with what weapons he wants. He just basically chooses the easiest thing to do that's not too tedious. Yeah, that would be magic. Because fireball is pretty much broken. But it does make the game pretty boring, that's for sure. Oh wait, I forgot. Oh no, strong button. My god. I haven't touched a bow since GG. Well, that's fair. There are. I personally, oops. I'm lagging. I'm lagging a lot. What? I personally love the idea of switching weapons all the time. That was my favorite part about Mabinogi. Back when they never gave us extra equipment slots, I loved the idea of manually switching my weapons out when I saw someone did it in one of their Rabbi Phantasm showcases. This was a Korean player, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, he basically switched out his puppetry class gear with like a staff to combine the crisis skill and blaze, was it? What was it called? Yeah, blaze. And so that to me was like super cool. So I wanted to do that. I wanted to do that myself, and I did end up doing it. So I would rotate between my gunner, my ninja, my fighter, my puppetry. It was really fun. But then they added the extra equipment slots, and it basically made my skill completely redundant. Anyone can do it now. At a click of a button. As long as you pay for it. But yeah, skill switching is pretty fun, yeah. I know most people don't really like using other weapons anyway. Go one shot on my last commerce run. Overall HP. So the wiki might not be as updated, but you can in fact find the stats and skills wiki page, where it tells you which skill you can upgrade will give you what particular stats. So if you go up and search for that, you will be able to find a list of all the skills that increases your HP. I think the big ones, I don't actually remember the big ones. Depending on what you are race-wise, there will be a bit of variation. The big ones is first aid, milking, combat mastery. Pretty sure you got that down. There's a few. There is a lot. But yeah, it doesn't hurt to go through and get all of these skills done, but the reason you did get one shot is not because you don't have enough HP, it's because your strength is pretty low. So strength gives you the defense stat, and the defense stat allows you to basically take less damage per hit, pretty much. Oops. Already took it. So if you raise your strength stat, that would be a lot more useful rather than your HP. However, you could just wear armor. Or mana shield. There are a lot of ways to deal with this. But yeah. I would say let's go on a training spree for certain skills that you never used before. You can explore what kind of skills, if you upgrade them, what kind of stats you would get. But overall, if you feel weak, there is only one solution to that, and that is to rank your skills. Because in Mappy, skills is the only thing that matters. Pretty much. Ooh, what did I get? Fancy. Aw. Apathetic. Aw. Not too great. Life skills shouldn't be ignored. Yeah, life skills give you the most stats, that's for sure. So combat skills are pretty easy to rank, but life skills you'll have to go out of your way to get them done, which means they're typically at rank F. And boy oh boy, if they're rank F, it means it's pretty easy to get them done. You'll get a load of extra stats just from exploring a bit of what life skills you haven't done. Like milking, catering, tasting, maybe tasting is done, fishing, resting, campfire, so on and so forth. Kind of forgot. Glyphs? Glyphrite skills give a lot. Glyphrite, weaving, handicraft, refining, yeah. The list just goes on and on. There are a lot of life skill classes. I mean life classes. That'll definitely help you with your HP because they give you a lot, and it's not just the HP you want to get up, because you can also do you can also increase your strength, intelligence, dexterity, and will, all of which gives you different types of defensive oriented stats, and I think which basically makes every stat just as important, so you won't need to focus on your HP. Yeah, this maybe isn't a game where you just focus on a single stat. It used to be, that's for sure. It used to be like min-maxing strength or something like that, but it's not anymore. There are too many options. Oh, it's my favorite song. Oh wait, I keep forgetting this. Maybe someday I'll have a bit more time to do commerce. Commerce is one of the hardest things for me to do because how do you make gold off commerce? So I know I get ducats. At a certain rank, let's see, what's it called? Seasonal, wait no. Yeah, actually, yeah. When you reach, I think, silver 3, or is it silver 1? Somewhere there, you will unlock a system called the bartering system. The bartering system lets you convert your in-game items. Each trip you get gold. The big money, the big money is just from bartering alone. So every week you can pick up a selection of different items that will give you just pure ducats without having to spend anything. So if you trade in like a few stacks of materials like stamina potions or HP potions, and a few more expensive items like maybe, I don't actually remember any of the bartering items, but yeah, it'll give you about 600, 1 million ducats, and so overall every week you can make about 7 million ducats at least. You can make more than that depending on how you work your way towards it. But typically, making an average of 2 million ducats a week, it's pretty doable. You can make more, definitely, but it would require a lot of effort. So people tend to, people who do commerce for a lot of money tend to stock up on these in-game items, and they do the bartering system weekly. You can make a lot of ducats that way. And on a weekly basis, you can buy these boxes, 30 of them if I'm not mistaken, that gives you erg materials. These erg materials sell for a lot of gold. They can go up to purified apostle essence, which is like 100 mil if I'm not mistaken. 100 million gold, and yeah. And it ranges a lot. Plus, the ducats you make is pretty 1-to-1 to the gold. So let's say if you make 7 million ducats, it means you make about 7 million gold as well. Excluding the fact that you can convert your ducats itself into gold by buying ducat specific items and selling it at auction house. So there are items like the teardrop gemstone, if I remember correctly, that's pretty hot on the market because you can only get them with ducats, and a few other stuff like pianos, some fancy music items, and also pet items, anything pet related, like the little, what are we called, blueprints, yeah. They sell for a lot too. There's also one of the first aid requirements for ranking. You can get an item for that with ducats. There are just so many ways to make money with ducats, and obviously the main ways is to buy all the stuff you can get from the little merchant in Port Kila. So you can talk to, I think there's more merchants, but I only remember her from Port Kila. I can, let me pay a visit since I'm already done. Necromancer. Union. Okay, let me pay a visit. Oh wait, I can just use map. And we can have a look at all the items you can get. So, Saif here, the main go-to person. Patterns. Yeah, so you can have these limited weekly items. These all give you a lot of items that you can sell. The erg materials go like 80 million, 100 million if you're lucky. Or just the cheap stuff like 250k, a range to 2 million. Depending on what you get, it's pretty good. You could get some decent sized bags if I started making 7 million a week. Yeah. So, and then you have these things, which I think they're not that great anymore. They used to be really expensive, but I don't think they're that expensive anymore. It's the tailoring items here, these crafting manuals. These come, there are a lot of refashion items, which comes out quite often. These refashion items can go for like 3 to 4 mil if you craft them. I'm not sure how much they go for anymore, but as a tailor, these are pretty good. And I think that's about it, yeah. Everything else is just your typical stuff. But the erg material box is definitely important, because everybody needs erg. Yep. Let's have a look at one of the little merchants. So let's go to Karu Forest, because that's the only one I remember. Oh wait, there's also the one in what was it called? Oh shit. Can I even find it? I don't think I'll be able to find it. Oh wait, no. I can see it. It's right there. So if you do regular commerce and you get your commerce ranking up to I think silver 3, silver 5, or silver 1, one or the other, you'll be able to come to these little spots here. I don't think I can talk to this girl yet, because I haven't done my commerce for the week. But you can trade here. You have to reach silver 5, yeah. And these people will ask you for a list of very important resources. I'm pretty sure the only things I remember was like HP 500, MP 500, and Stamina 500, and parchment paper, magic quills. But they'll ask you for a bunch of stuff that will give you a very nice reward. It ranges between 100,000 ducats to 600,000 ducats. Your platinum tree. Oh, okay. But yeah, if you get to platinum 5, you'll be able to see all these things. There is also the most important information. Let me go to tier. Okay. This is for an actual commerce fanatic. So if you're an actual commerce fanatic, the only type of commercing you want to be doing is you want to be coming to these people and you want to talk to them and get the last item here. It's insufficient stock because only, there's limited goods. Everybody wants to get this. And so for every trading post, you would always have the last option, which is the most expensive option. And so people will get this option and they will go to the most expensive place and they get that traded in. It's pretty hard to do commerce with so many people, competing for the best goods. But that's basically your baseline. So if you're making money close to that baseline, it means you're doing pretty good. There are some hotspots. It would be Tirkanale. Tirkanale is a hotspot. You typically, there's stay in tier, go to Bangor. Bangor is a good spot to go to. Hold on. And Tara, as well as Belvas. Belvas is also pretty good. Here, it's also insufficient. You can see how people like to do these specific trading routes. And ooh, hold on, I might have to teleport for this. Do on weekdays. Yeah, the weekends are really brutal. Everybody just snacks it. Yeah. But it does reset pretty often. I think it resets every 36 minutes. We have one right here. There you go. So these 3 spots are like the best places to trade. You can pick them up, go to the most expensive locations, and sell them there. It does get cheaper and cheaper the more people sell, which means it does get worse over time. So you'll have to pick up some commerce gear, which is pretty simple really. Let me have a look at my commerce gear. You need some movement speed boots, preferably a Weka movement speed. You can take Ledeka movement speed too, and the NEG Generation 15 gear or a William Preppy commerce outfit. It will have transport speed on it, and if it's reforged high, maximum is 20, you can get something between 15 and it'll be pretty good. But yeah, competition's nasty here, but I would say you shouldn't worry about commerce gear as much, as long as you're picking up the movement speed potions, you're doing just fine. And if you do enjoy commerce, the movement speed won't hinder you that much. It's typically for people who really just don't like it that much. And let's say if you're combat oriented, you can go up here to this guy and trade in with Digo. Oh wait, no, that's that's the wrong person. Ooh, was it her? Oh, did they fix it? Okay, I think they fixed it. Retry. But I guess if they fix it, there's no point in me telling you about this. There's some options. Those are the options. I don't think I can use my items anymore then. Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay, let me hit back. Yeah, if you have more questions, I'm pretty sure you'll find some more people commercing. Because, like I said, competition is stiff in weekends, which means you'll be seeing a lot of faces. Especially in Channel 1. You can ask them about it. I would say, if you do want to make good ducats, do the party ones. Oh, which I haven't showed. You can do party commerce, which is only exclusive to area continents. You can go to Philia, the Philia outpost, the Kila outpost, and the Bales outpost, and the Core outpost. These 4 locations are the best places, and you can just trade in every single goods every week. So if you do that, you'll make quite a bit of bank if you're not too keen on competition, because this is non-exclusive to people with gear. It doesn't matter, you can take as much time as you want. You don't need to be fastest in any way, and most importantly, you can do it with friends. You can typically make about, I think, about 600,000 ducats each outpost, which means that's well over 2 mil. Yeah. Yep, well over 2 mil a week, and that's pretty good. So you get 2 mil from there, you can get about 7 mil from the bartering, and that would pretty much put you around 10 million a week, at least, which is pretty decent for people who do like commerce and they want to make a lot of money off of it. Though I would say, commerce is definitely most efficient when you are doing it by air transport. Especially for the multiplayer one. Well, I guess only for the multiplayer one. The party commerce transport makes a lot of money. Yeah. The limited goods in LAD, that's pretty much for people who literally do commerce every day. Because if not, it's the money that least makes any profit. Yeah, you don't make much profit off of it. pretty much. Like, if you compare the three. In fact, you don't make, you barely make any profit. That you'd be better off just doing your weekly bartering and airship commerce and leaving out the limited goods. Because, if you factor limited goods into account, you'll be spending a lot of time doing commerce. That's for sure. I mean, some people like that, so there's that. But I have to say, a lot of this information is from back when the commerce update just happened, and we're figuring out like how to impact the commerce trade routes and stuff, and how the changes are going to affect the way we used to do commerce. And this is the outcome of that. We now know that airship is the most efficient for party commerce, and bartering is the most efficient for money making. Because if you are a huge professional at bartering, you can make 15 million a week, and that's a lot of ducats. I'm pretty sure that's a minimum number too, assuming you did every bartering item, which is pretty hard, to be honest. Yeah, lots of stuff there. Ooh, wait, I forgot you. Well, I hope that helps. I'm not much of a commerce fanatic myself. I just know a lot. Because I'm a nerd. Oops. It's pretty dark. Odd. I might have to change channels to fix this. Ooh, no, I missed. Let's get a bit laggy. Oops. Oh, it's getting really laggy. Oh no, I made a mistake. Wasn't supposed to use Divine Link. Thanks for the stream, caffeinated. Okay, sure. No problem. Planet giving you bags. They are very good bags, for starters. Definitely. I still have them in my bank. It's a little late, though. Because by the time I received those bags, I already had some pretty good alternatives. But yeah. That's a lot of bags. It's great that they give so many bags because items items were scarce, but after update, you just get too many items. Caffeine. Yeah, I'm having coffee too. Boy. It's like it's my favorite drink. I might have to change my thumbnail, my Mabby thumbnail. And I think I have a nice idea for it now. It would be nice if I could draw it. I'm not a fan of the clickbait kind of stuff, so it would be pretty hard to replace my current thumbnail. The 1 month bag, it was like a sale. Oh, oh yeah. Yeah, the 1 month bag, it's pretty bad. Back when I first started, I thought it was a pretty good bag, but I didn't like the idea it had a 30-day timer on it, so I never bought it. And that was a pretty bad idea because it gave a lot of inventory space. But looking at it now, it's actually not that big of a bag anymore. So yeah, the Walter bag. It's a pretty bad bag. Massive. It sure is. Compared to the little beginner bags you get, it's pretty big. With the new bags these days though, it kinda pales in comparison. But bags are permanent, so it's like something once you get, you'll never really think twice about getting, about having a bag anymore. Which means, eventually 80 slots is gonna be small. And people want like 100 slots, 120 slots, and 140 slots, and 180 slots. There are a lot of cheap doll bags on auction. For that reason. Because the older bags just aren't that big anymore compared to the newer ones. I don't think that's it's not in your future. Well, if you can afford a bag that's 200,000 gold, there will be a future where you can afford a bag that is 200 million. That's for sure. It just keeps going. Money in this game is pretty much like permanent. Almost 900k. That's pretty much like 3 really big bags. You can afford a lot of pretty big bags. How big is big? Let me see. 64 slots. You can get about 2 or 3 64 slot bags with 900k. That's a lot. But yeah, bags are permanent, like I said, so once you can afford it, you would want to replace it with an even bigger bag eventually. Teach me Karen. Oh, well, I can have a look at it. We'll have to wait for my little combat cooldown. It'll take 20 seconds. Doll bag box. Oh, well, they're pretty expensive these days. I guess the reason they're expensive is because we don't have a doll bag gacha right now, so these won't drop. But you will be able to find a lot of good doll bags up here in Auction House. The cheap ones are pretty much stuff that people tend to replace. I think the better ones go up pretty high. So there would be Bater. Bater is already pretty expensive. 1.4 million, and that's about 70 slots, that's a lot. It's nearly as close to the 80 slots, which is pretty big already. And yeah, doll bags are permanent, so it's a one-time purchase and you'll have this inventory for the rest of your life. So for 2 mil, that's a lifesaver. Then up to 2.5 mil is a 9x9, which is 81 slots. That's just as much as the little bag for 30 days. I'm more concerned about the bigger ones, because these are doll bags, so 600k with 1.5. If you're getting a doll bag, I would say you don't need that much space right now, because there is the potential system. Potential system gives you a very fancy inventory called I don't actually... the Soul Stream inventory. This is a pretty big bag already. I don't really know how many slots there are. And it's the bigger doll bags that give you more space. But overall, I would say it's better to fill your doll bags with small doll bags first. I mean, fill your inventory with smaller doll bags. Best supporter. Yeah, Vlana gives you a lot of money for a beginner, to be honest. Which is why it's highly recommended. As boring as it may be, it'll give you about 1.2 million gold by the end of it. 600,000 halfway, 600,000 at the end. So it's 1.2 mil total. Which would be quite a lot. I think the doll bags I used to start off with was the Mari doll bags. These are pretty nice. They're 6x6, which is 36 slots. It's not a lot, but it was the cheapest ones. They're pretty expensive now, but they used to be a lot cheaper. I guess the Fergus ones are pretty good. It picks up a lot of nice stuff. And the crystal doll bags are pretty good too. But if you're willing to wait for something more expensive, you can get any of the ones that have a bigger size. Typically, if I remember right, it's the doll bags with at least 2 people, 3 people in it. So the heroes doll bag is pretty good. The 9x9. This one here, yeah. Penny, Caswin, and Libelin. This one has 121 slots. So that's a lot, but it's very expensive. I would say look out for these and pick whichever one you want and wait for a dollback gacha, because when dollback gachas comes out, the dollback prices drop a lot, making it pretty easy to pick up new doll bags. Buying, for a sense of scale, something that would be worth like 40 million would probably be worth 15 million during the sale, which means you can get like 200,000 to 300,000 doll bags, which is the cheapest ones you can probably get during that time. Because people do like to stock up on doll bag boxes to sell after the gacha ends. And if you're lucky, you'll find a lot of players who have a lot of doll bag boxes already. They'd be willing to give them to you for free, because it's pretty hard to sell doll bags. Especially these smaller ones, the 1x1 doll bags. Nobody likes using those anymore. We prefer, wait, no, not 1x1. People prefer the doll bags with at least 3 dolls in them. But yeah. It's the doll bags that a lot of people like to get. Regular bags are useful to some extent. Like the what's it called? The black bag, the mysterious purple bag, and I guess the Morning Star bag is one of them too. So in the Grook guide, you can get a Morning Star bag, which I also use. I think it's from here. From here. Well, I can't find it. Well, it was here somewhere. That one's pretty nice. You have a lot of options for bags already, so I would say it's not worth spending that much money on new ones when you're spoiled for so many bags right from the start. As small as they may be, they're pretty good bags. One of the better options is to get a shop bag. Shop bags, I'm pretty sure shop bag is... I don't actually know how expensive shop bags are right now. Shop bags are one time. You can only have one personal shop bag. which means you can't get an infinite number of them in your inventory. But that would mean they're pretty big bags. They can go up for quite a lot of space. The one I have right now should be 130 slots. Yeah. Let's have a look at one of them. Oh shit. Ooh, almost left. Okay. Here we go. A broken hardback. I don't know if you've picked any of these up yet. So a broken hardback has 96 slots. They're basically one of your bags would have a little personal shop button at the top. And if you don't have any bags with the personal shop icon, it would mean you don't have a personal shop bag. So getting one of these would be pretty easy. 16th anniversary. A Burnham bag. Oh. I don't have a Burnham. The broken heart bags are pretty much the cheapest ones. To a shop bag. Oh, wait a minute. Have I attached mine? I think there should be the rose wreath ones. Stream mill. Oh my gosh. They used to be 200k. I guess they went up in price. But these are pretty big. But yeah, I guess it's not worth it anymore. Wonder why I'm lagging so much. Big. They are in fact really big, yeah. So if you get a new personal bag, you're gonna have to get rid of your broken heart one. And you're definitely gonna get a new one because the current one I have is a now festival bag, but there has been a few updates, especially the anniversary updates, that has given me a better bag than this. I just didn't want to switch out. Space-wise, it's about the same size. Well, probably bigger. Because you can put a drawstring pouch on it. Whereas my current now festival bag doesn't allow that. So I'm stuck with 130 slots. But yeah, it gets pretty big. You can go up to 140 slots maybe. So having start with 96 slots it's quite good. You probably wouldn't need that much space anytime soon. There are a lot of garbage items you would end up picking up, that's for sure, but that's pretty much the entirety of this game. So having to know what to sort and what to get rid of would be pretty handy. So you can get rid of junk. Okay, my lag is getting out of hand. you say getting the broken 10 more slots worth 60,000 more? I guess so, yeah. 106 slots is quite a lot, yeah. 70,000. In fact, the difference between 10,000 and 70,000 is pretty low. It'd be pretty worth it, because you're not gonna end up switching your bag out anytime soon. Unless you plan on doing so. I might have to restart. Well, I guess I'll do version 2. I will be right back.